Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And Ferris's phone that he had not muted.
I just muted it.
Good job. Full disclosure, my phone is not on silent, so the same thing could happen to me, but I'm
I'm going to call it.
okay. Maybe I can put the there's a reason though. There's a reason for it. So we'll get to that in a moment. Now, this is the Craft Beer and Soccer Podcast. So of course today we're going to be talking before we get to the beer, which I have brought in for us today. We have Premier League stuff to talk about. We have clearly some Champions League stuff to talk about.
A little bit of Europa today.
Yep,
a little bit of
Europa. And well, there's also some U.S. Women's National Team World Cup news as teams have been announced.
Exciting time.
I'm excited.
Very excited.
June 7, right?
That's right.
It's around the corner.
And then for us here in Orlando, who are hosting the MLS All-Star Game, they've just announced it's going to be played against Atletico Madrid. So we got
July
a little
31st.
Little MLS news as well to discuss.
Pre-sale tickets to that game for season ticket members go on sale tomorrow. No clue what the cost is going to be.
Season tickets for Orlando City.
Yes, correct.
Well, with that being said, we shall move on to the beer. Now, today's beer is fun because it was an emergency beer. I was at the store the other day, and I thought, we're podding in a couple days just in case it's crazy on the guy's schedule. Here's a beer that I've already had. I just tried, but I wanted to introduce especially Ferris to it because if there's a beer style that is a staple, I do like to keep around the place. Like I'm a big fan of things like Belgian Wits. I love IPA. I have so many different beer styles I like, but there's like a couple of beer styles I can just keep around and have any time of the day. And I know Ferris is part of that as well. So lately I have been on a kick to, instead of getting the mass produced version of that particular style of beer, is the craft version of that style of beer. So today, 2 in a row, kind of, in a way, because the last beer I brought in was from the Brew Hub. This one is kind of from the Brew Hub. We are getting it because of the Brew Hub here in Florida, even though this beer comes from Southern California. The Brew Hub is their contract brewer for the Southeast and distributor. So it is actually brewed in Lakeland, Florida, though it is a California beer.
Gotcha.
Here you go, gentlemen.
Dun, 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 dun. I have an idea on the style.
It is the Chihuahua Cerveza Premium Mexican Style Lager, the highest ABV Mexican Style lager, craft lager in the States, of a 6.5% alcohol by volume.
Nice.
What a fun can.
So before you go into anything more, on Sunday,
Boom, there you go, Ron.
Nicole and I did a brewery tour of Crooked Can.
Nice.
Which we've all been there several different times, but haven't actually gone back to see their establishment to talk about it. Anyways, on that, they currently have brewing a Mexican lager. And I said, wait, I've been coming to Crooked Can for a while. Is that your first Mexican lager? And I go, yep, it sure is. They had gotten a new brewer in from out in San Diego. It's his brew that he's doing. It's going to be called, it's not Bandito, but it's something along those lines, Mexican lager. So look for Crooked Can to have a Mexican lager, their first ever Mexican lager, very shortly.
That still loops in because Crooked Can, I notice, is now in the Brew Hub's tap room.
Yes.
So I guess that means they're getting distribution through the Brew Hub. And again,
yes, and I believe that's via can too, is what they were saying. Yeah.
We talked about Brew Hub prior, but for those who may not have heard, Brew Hub is it is a company that got started by some of the execs that got booted out when Budweiser got bought over, basically. Right. And they decided to create a distribution center that would partnership with craft brewers that didn't have the space or the bandwidth to distribute nationally, and they would contract brew as well as provide distribution nationally and internationally.
Correct, because what they're doing is, and I think if you're in this area, Crooked Can has grown so much that it's hard to mass produce a lot of their most
Tampa Bay Brewing does the same thing.
Right. Cigar City.
So they go through Brew Hub to mass produce that and then can it and get it sent out everywhere.
Now, this is the first that, and I looked on their site and I realized actually there are more, but this is the first I've had of breweries from outside of Florida that are now here for us because of Brew Hub. So this is Chihuahua Cerveza is an independently owned, domestically brewed Mexican lager inspired by the strong Mexican culture in Southern California. Why the Chihuahua, you ask? We're a small brewery with a grand bark that is competing with the big dogs. Raised with all natural ingredients and specially trained to satisfy your taste buds, Chihuahua Cerveza is energized with distinct flavors and a smooth finish. It's ideal for every fiesta, whether you're enjoying one of the 4 unique varieties of cervezas or mixing your own Chihuahua. I'm not sure what that means. It is the perfect companion for the perfect moment. And this is, they've got like a Chihuahua Limon. They've got an El Primero. But this is the Rico, which is the highest ABV one, premium Mexican style lager.
Love it. I can't wait.
Oh, wait.
There's more.
Before we crack this open, I picked up the can and went, I'd like to get a little more information about the, wait a minute, at the bottom of the can, it says get the app. So, gentlemen, I got the app. Now, this is going to be difficult because there is a audio component to this that I don't know how well will come across, but you get the app. Can you guys see the can?
Yeah.
Then you place the phone in front of it.
Yep, seeing it.
And when it sees the logo,
Okay, you can see it through the phone. I get it.
you get a little information.
Oh,
How to make
the phone camera interface turns the can
augmented reality.
picture. It's
So the Chihuahua, it shows you a video of a bartender making the drink where you take this beer and mix it with some tequila, and there was something else in there, but like you.
Oh, brilliant.
So
That's
every can
cool,
does
yeah.
different stuff.
Oh,
that
fun.
it shows on there. But yeah, when you
That's
hold the can in
creative.
front of your phone, the camera gets taken over the label of the can, and it's basically dude behind the bar, and he's telling you how to make
That's fun.
these
That's
like
creative.
mixed drinks with the beer, which is something we're gonna need to do at some point because that's a whole
stupid popular.
other thing,
Yeah,
right?
it is,
That
right.
like people do and have tried, but maybe doing some like next. We'll have to get some recipes or do
what
some
they're like,
cocktail beers like that.
Oh, there's a name for them. It's not like beer tails. It's something much more creative than that, but it's like cocktails made with beer.
I mean, it's a fancier thing for like an Irish car bomb or something like that. You still mixing
Yeah,
those
but
components,
it's a little. You're right. It's a little more crafted cocktail.
It's more like you could mix Guinness with this and make
Right.
this drink,
like,
or
right, and,
Right,
and
right,
you've seen
right,
some where
right.
you mix beers and stuff, but these are actually mixing like
Right.
liquors with
Right.
the one popular one is always like the Bacardi Limon with Corona, right?
Right.
That's like one you do.
correct.
All right, well, some little
Excited to try
Chihuahua
this, man.
Cerveza. Oh yeah, it's like this has got Ferris all
Yes,
over
it
this style.
does.
And just about $8.50 at the Publix, man. It is not a
Really?
not a little bad craft, and I really enjoy it.
You
This is
usually have some good stuff up here at yours.
That's a good one. All right, here we go.
Does absolutely nothing.
Don't care. Oh, that's a good pop.
That smells like a Mexican lager.
See, but you smell a just a tiny bit of hop, and you don't usually kind of smell that like on a Pacifico or a Dos Equis or something like that. Ron's pouring it out, and it's looking what I thought it would look like a very golden
Lovely
yellow,
golden color, yeah.
not pale. But
No,
like
no,
a
no.
gold- yeah.
yeah, very
strong gold.
very filtered straw color.
Oh, we got the thunder and lightning going on over the house now. Let's hope we don't lose power. All right, gents,
That would suck.
let's try this guy.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cilantro.
Cheers. That's some football watching beer, man.
Oh, it's sweeter than I expected.
Please tell me you have a six pack of this.
I get 6-pack.
God bless you.
I knew
sir.
you were gonna like
That's
this.
good.
One. Yeah,
Man, that's just
it's
that
just
is delightful.
I got it for pure fun. It was $8.50 a week or two ago. So that
Pure
can's
enjoyment
funny.
comes out of this.
And I even bought it then thinking, oh, I wonder what this is. Keep it for the pod. And I was like, oh, watching a little soccer, cracked it open. Oh, gonna have to get another 6-pack for the pod because this one's not gonna last. This is
That's
very
good.
Yeah, right. It's just simple.
Chihuahua.
Craft Mexican lager, but it's tasty. And I've been on a kick. I think it's the burrita or the burrita. I forget what it's Dale's not Dale's Pale Ale, but the company Oscar Blues.
Oscar
They
Blues,
make a
yeah.
great craft Mexican lager. I've really been digging
I don't know if I have that one yet.
I've been digging some people making stuff that we don't necessarily equate with like super high quality, but like making craft versions of those styles,
Yeah.
It's awesome. But this is
I
delicious
had,
beer. And by the way, yes, the answer is I wanted us to try it straight with just it's not like a Corona where you're trying to mask the flavor. If you had the thinnest slice of lime, it goes very good with this. But you don't want like a you don't, want a lime
need the
bomb
lime.
This.
Well,
No,
for me,
yeah.
this is like you don't need a lime with a just Dos Equis, a Pacifico. It's nice to have it and it tastes good with it, but with Corona, for me, you must have to have the lime.
Yeah,
You
man.
don't want to drink it without the lime.
You need the lime.
This is not one of those where you have to have the lime.
No.
It's a nice compliment to it.
Good,
but
right,
yeah.
though?
Oh, very, very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, Mexican lager is, as if you listen to this, is one of my favorite styles for sure.
It's the first one you had on the first episode.
Yeah. Pacifico is still to this day my favorite beer, which I found out they have on tap at Aventura. Down there, which is interesting.
One of our
Well,
local
two places
resort
we know.
hotels.
One of the resort hotels in the area. So, and actually, a lot of places now have it on tap. It's kind of weird. The movie theater in Point Orlando has it on tap there. I was like, what?
Have you seen there's a bunch more national commercials for
Pacifico all of a sudden.
Oh,
But you know what's
they're
funny?
cool.
So my wife does voiceover work and does commercials and stuff. She talks about the differences between local and national commercials. Like local, they're always like really energetic and loud, like Crazy Al's furniture warehouse going out of business. Go, bye. Because there's an urgency, like you have to do it quick and it's local and they can't like trust the brand. Whereas the national stuff tends to be very chill. But the Pacifico commercials crack me up because they are like say a Budweiser commercial had just played prior and she pointed out to me, she's like, wow, that's like a very comfortable with their brand commercial. Cause it's just like, yo, Pacifico, chill out, hang out, put one in the cooler. Right. Yeah. Good day. I mean, like that's not what this said, but that was like the vibe of the commercial.
Like the camera is zoomed in on a cooler. Or no, a can that's in a cooler, and then it's zoomed out, and you see the cooler, and then you see the boat that it's on, and then you see like the bay that it's in, and then you see the mountains around, like, and it's as this very calm, like, hey, just enjoy Pacifico,
right?
Get a lime, have fun,
and it's almost that voice, you know, when that actor, he's failing me right now, but he's always like, dude.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, yes, totally.
Wow.
When he's like,
it's his Pacifico crew.
Just have a beer.
Get a lime. Relax.
Yeah, it's totally what it's like. When he's talking in those like hushed, relaxed tones, you know? It's so funny.
Wow. That's what we're going to do. Wow. Let's get a Corona. No, a Pacifico. Wow. We're going to do the whole pod as Owen Wilson. Boom. Well, good. I picked a good beer then.
Yes, you did.
And I'm super stoked about the video. We have to watch the whole video after this to actually see the recipe.
There is a wine company that has all their labels. All the wines are named after like convicts from the 1800s.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those before.
And they have an app and all those.
Like the history?
Yeah, it does what that person did. Oh. And it basically is like a 3-minute bio on that person.
That's our new podcast, Murderers and Wine.
That person does the talking.
Everybody else has a true crime podcast. Right? We can do that. You got to research. Everybody bring a new bottle of wine and research the crime committed around that.
That's perfect.
What are you
laughing at? 80,000 podcasts.
My girlfriend suggested that a few weeks back because she loves the true crime stuff. And she's like, hey, what if like I came on and then you guys talk about soccer? Yeah. But what if I then have wine and talk about a true crime that relates to soccer?
That's what I was going to say. You tell her she's got a deal if she's got a true crime around a soccer. That was exactly what I was going to say.
There's so many.
I mean,
assaults on referees and match fixing.
We need like dude's head was buried under a goalpost.
Whoa, okay, all right. That's
like we need like crazy like who done it.
What was the Ron stories of the most haunted grounds in in England? I'm sure there was some wasn't one like built over a cemetery or something.
It's like what's
that?
the old urban legend like Jimmy Hoffa's under the end zone in the Giants game or whatever wherever it is or Chicago.
And the Meadowlands.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
But something like that.
The former Meadowlands.
Yeah, we need something like that. I would totally be down for that. It'd be a vino podcast where we do the Brewtiful Game with soccer, true crime, and some wine. Yeah, are you kidding? That sounds awesome.
So tonight we're gonna have a nice cab.
Wow,
talking about the murder of Cabello Castanero.
Wow, that murder?
He was such a nice guy.
Special guest, Owen Wilson.
Hey, Owen, what is your favorite part of this illustrious tale about crime, murder, and seduction?
It's the wine. Wow. But you know what would be great with this? And we got a Pacifico. Wow. I promise we're going to talk about soccer.
Oh, this is a soccer podcast, isn't it?
So,
are you sure?
You serious, Clark?
Here's the thing. Do we have 2 hours to set aside to talk about 5 minutes of soccer and then an hour and 55 of that amazing free kick that Messi kicked in that Champions League?
I really think we need to stop comparing the two. Messi is the king. Just move on.
Okay. I will always go Ronaldo, but we watched the highlights of that in the office yesterday, and that.
Okay, so I've already started. We're going to start with Champions League.
Okay, fine.
And we'll go to Premier League after.
Yeah. One, I loved it because it was the most beautifully struck, perfectly paced, most powerful. There's not a goal. And it was against Liverpool. That was even more exciting. And I can't even describe it. It was the most perfectly hit ball.
But it was such an imperfectly placed free kick at that range where the wall is.
Yeah.
So
like 35
hard
yards out or something
to curl that over the top left guy and to go into that top left corner.
Not a goalie in the world stopping that.
It shaved that guy's beard. It went, so a couple of friends and I were dissecting it this morning, and we were frame by framing it, and it comes right next to that guy's face. It's like
if he had a mustache, it would have not gone in.
Oh my God, it was so crazy.
That was nuts. And the old 32-year-old gets a brace even out of the game against Liverpool.
His 600th goal.
The upside for Liverpool sucks to lose 3-0, but it's Barcelona's home score. But then also it sucks because now Liverpool goes back to Anfield, where if Barcelona gets one goal, if Liverpool, they got to score 4.
Yeah. They're going to have to score 5.
If when it's
win 5 to win.
If they get one, right.
Now that being said, if there's a team that could do that,
crazier stuff has happened this year in the Champions League too.
It's Liverpool, so but wow, what a just
insane.
Or better yet, just go to 3-0. Let's see some extra time, goal. Get right. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Messi has
also, we should back up. The Suarez goal was fantastic.
Yeah, Suarez goal was good. Choppers.
The
with
Jordi Alba ball into Suarez was an amazing ball as well. That was a beautifully cross ball into the box.
Bounces twice perfectly, and
it was perfect.
When we were watching the highlights this morning, I said to another friend of mine, that is a Sergio Aguero goal that Suarez scored. Just the style of it, it just reeked of Sergio Aguero, just having the perfect amount of touch to put it right over the keeper. It's like he learned it from Sergio Aguero. It's such a nice goal.
I will say though, what stinks for Liverpool fans and Liverpool, this 3-0 goal line does not indicate how good Liverpool actually was.
Yeah.
They played like a good game. They had moments that broke free too. The goals just didn't go in.
The post a bunch.
Yeah. The
saves from the Barcelona keeper.
Oh, they weren't as clinical in front of a net as Barcelona were.
No,
they
but
had their
like
chances.
Ron said, the Barcelona keeper was
Ter Stegen is probably the best goalie in the world at the current moment
certainly
on form.
De Gea.
And it looked that way. But also, they hit the post a couple times. They just Liverpool weren't as precise and as clinical as they have been.
They just weren't.
Barcelona took those chances and they were deadly when they took them.
I think Liverpool's composure in the final third wasn't what it normally was. It seemed so much more frenetic. It seemed so much more rushed than the normal attacking that we see out of Liverpool. So,
but also you just got this feeling of like, man, Messi wants one last Champions League. He's not going to get a World Cup because Argentina is just not going to. They're not going to field a team that good around him.
Yeah, that's not.
He wants a Champions League. He wants to go out and throw 2 fingers in the air to Ronaldo and get out of there.
Yes, Liverpool were missing Bobby Firmino, but they still had a lot of talent out there. They had their chances. The hard part is going to be they may get 1 or 2 on Barca, but do you think Barca's going to give up 3, 4, 5 straight goals?
I actually think
I'm not so
no,
sure. Even at Anfield, I'm not so sure.
I actually think the best they can hope for is Liverpool, who does have a great defense. They hope for a 3-0 and it has to go into extra time. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get 4 or 5. It's
very unlikely. I mean, stranger weird is happened.
We beat PSG this year, right?
Well, fair enough, actually.
Juventus in both games, actually. So there are more odd things that have kind of happened this Champions League run, but very few of them. Well, Barca is very difficult to do that against. It was always going to be a challenge going into the Camp Nou, but your best hope was to get out of there with a 1-0 or something along those lines, not a 3-0. That puts yourself into
and even
hole.
Just one goal. Yeah, even if it was 3-1, that would have been huge.
Yeah, and again, Liverpool didn't play terribly. They didn't play as their normal selves, but they didn't play. I mean, if all of those goals would have gone in, that let's say should have, it'd have been 4-3 to Barcelona.
Right. Well, is it weird to say though that mathematically they have a harder time ahead of them than Tottenham does, but I actually feel like they have a better shot because of Spurs injuries that they're dealing with of pulling off that mathematical stunt?
Yeah,
because I mean, to go over to the Spurs against Ajax, man, I love your headline, Ferris.
Wait, before we go there, I have one question about Liverpool. If Liverpool, here's a hypothetical. Give me your opinions. Liverpool get knocked out of Champions League, finish second in the Premier League.
That sucks.
Is it a failed season?
Not at 97 points. If they manage to do 97 points in Premier League, but still no, I don't think so. And you lose to Barcelona.
I think it's harsh. It's tough for me to say because being Liverpool, I think it's harsh, but I do think it will be considered a failed season because once again, Klopp has not won silverware for them. They were in both, but it's harsh because of how well they actually have played this year, how well they've done this year, how far they got in the Champions League, how they might have 97 points and not actually win the Premier League and only lose one game throughout the entire season, right? That's where the harshness comes in. But I do think when you look at it and what Liverpool Football Club look at it as and what Klopp looks at it as and the team probably looks at it is if you walk away with 0 in your cabinet, it's a failed year.
Especially, I just ask because arguably Liverpool is the best they've been in quite some time.
Well, and they've consistently gotten better each year. So while it's a failed season, you're not going to change anything.
Timing is just really because man is coming up hardcore right now.
Yeah, so that's some food for thought. There's a lot of talk going back on the internet, talk going back and forth on the internet about whether or not that's a failed season, considering how well they're doing. And then the other part is, let's say that hypothetical does happen. They bounce out of Champions League. They finish second in the Premier League. What's the morale of the team coming into the next Premier League season?
I think they destroy people. I think you are so close in both spots. Like, I think you come on fire.
I think it depends because if they can add instead of subtract for the team in terms of big names, which by all accounts they should be able to do this year, then I think the morale is high. You also have to look at who was just named PFA Player of the Year this past.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk was. So you have possibly one of the best defenders. If they now add to that and say they bring in a Alderweireld, a Koulibaly, somebody like that next to him, wow. What else do you need to bring in? Maybe an extra midfielder in that like Jordan Henderson position, but other than that, you have your front three set. You maybe have a little bit of depth there, but I know it just kind of depends on how their summer goes and obviously what the end of the season.
I know we're starting Premier League. I mean, we're starting with Champions League, but in my opinion, I think they're just fine because I kind of think next year the Premier League is going to look like La Liga and it's going to be Man City and Liverpool again because the rest of the top 6 ain't none of those teams ready to compete against those two. Not for the season.
Yeah, I mean,
I cannot see an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Man United, a Tottenham making 1 or 2 moves that elevate them to compete with people that are on 97 and 95 points. I just, I think it's a fight for 3rd and 4th again next year for everybody else.
Only time will tell.
Exactly.
And that does, I mean, we're talking about, Tottenham. Is it Ajax? I love your squeaky clean playing. Ajax or Ajax wipe the floor with Spurs at Tottenham Stadium.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
They lose 1-0 from early goal from Ajax in the 15th minute.
And a lovely work goal, too.
Ajax was never in any danger.
Those first 25 minutes, they were looking like the game, they could have run away with it. Like,
you would like to see, obviously, Tottenham are really hurting right now with injuries. Also, Son was suspended for this game.
Son, and then you have Kane. That's
Kane,
not
Ali.
good.
I mean, you have, but nonetheless, Spurs haven't lost. Well, they lost at home for the first time against West Ham on Saturday, which we'll get into more of that. But this is their second now loss at home, and what they were playing in a very, I'll say, hostile environment, but they were getting a lot of wins. They knocked Dortmund out just before they got in there, and they played Man City in that new stadium and got past them. So, in a very tough place to go. And this group of young, talented, just exciting, fast play, keep the ball moving. Ajax went in there and continued to do what they did against Juventus, what they've done throughout the entire tournament.
Even Ajax Barcelona final, that's probably a pretty fun final to watch.
Well, I think we were saying it like that brings it back to like the early 90s, 80s, where a lot of Barcelona, Ajax, Bayern Munich, Ajax, United, Ajax, like a lot of, they were very heavily involved in these European ties and cups. That to see them back now. The sad part is a lot like Leicester was in the Premier League. At the end of the year, how many players are they going to get poached from them because they just can't compete with the dollars and cents of PSG and Juventus and Man City.
So strike while the iron's hot.
Exactly, and if they can go all the way, that's striking while the iron's hot, and then everybody's value also just goes up too for them.
And can we talk about how FIFA, UEFA, they need a rule? Someone needs to get pulled off the pitch for a concussion protocol. It is a free substitute at the time.
Yeah, until
because that guy Vanderbeek? No, the guy that got the concussion in the middle of the game with Tottenham. He ran into another player. Oh, why is that eluding me right now? He should never have gone back.
Tottenham player?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
He should never have gone back on the pitch.
Victor Wanyama?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Let's run through. Vertonghen,
thank you.
Samsonite.
Way off.
So Vertonghen, he gets square in the face.
Oh, from Sissoko.
Right. They pull him over, but it's not like the NFL where it's a different doctor. They're on the sideline, Yeah. And they send it back out. And he walked out there for just a few seconds, minutes, and then was shaking his head and came back to the sideline and started drooling. And everybody's like, why is he?
Yeah.
It was obvious he should never come back out on the pitch. Either give a free substitute. If someone loses out to a concussion protocol, just give a free substitution. Or at the very least, there's a free substitution out there while the player can go back. Because on these big games, 10 men, yes, the player should come first, but it's a weird position.
So I think, yes.
But the simple answer would just be, if you just did that, if you just said, hey, you get a free sub, it is considered a concussion protocol.
Right.
Free sub, you go get your thing done.
Right.
And then if they're not coming back out,
now it's a permanent sub.
That sub goes off of your list.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely. There's so many. And he was kind of he was
scary. It was
he was kind of weaving when he went back onto the pitch.
Yeah. Everybody was like, why? Why is he going it was obvious to everyone.
Yeah.
And
I think it's across leagues throughout Europe. I mean, even the Premier League, it's concussion thing has not
this
been
is
a big
UEFA
thing
and FIFA thing. They need to say, this is the rule.
Absolutely. I think that they need to. It took the NFL several years and probably too late to implement a lot of the things that they have in place. And even then, it's not done most times according to how most people think it should be done because a big game's on the line or this play's on the line. But UEFA, FAs, FIFA, they got to get this under control and start to hop on it now opposed to later when it becomes too bad and now you have suits against you and all of that. So yeah, I agree because it can be scary. And just because you're playing a game that you're not directly tackling somebody or hitting somebody, it is a physical game.
Yeah, so when you do
happen, feet can go high, balls can hit in the wrong place, headbutts, back of heads, goalpost, things can happen and it can be very scary.
Yeah, that one was super scary. And was obvious to everybody with eyeballs that he should not have been back out on that pitch. Before we roll back around to Premier League, we could talk, since we're doing Europe, we could talk the UEFA or Europa real quick. Arsenal, they had a 3-1 victory over Valencia today. Valencia scored first, but then Lacazette got a brace, and the final nail in the coffin was an Aubameyang goal at the end of the match.
Too bad they can't do that against, I don't know, Everton, Wolves.
Too bad, man,
Crystal
you
Palace.
can't. Look, at this point, I don't think there's any smack talking done by 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th place because they're all trying. We'll get there. They're all just trying to get the Wolves into the top
no, but
6.
I only say that from the fact is every Arsenal fan looked at the last 7 games and went, we got a good run down the way.
Yeah.
We have a good chance.
And then you gave up
You
to.
dropped multiple games. There wasn't I don't think it was a Chelsea fan, United fan that were going, oh, we got some easy games coming up. Like, no, that was every Arsenal fan. And as soon as that went out, boom, especially away from home, just dropping games. And for some reason, Europa League, it's a different team. A whole different team comes out. And if that's what they're going for and that's what they can win, the gamble for the time being is still paying off.
Well, and they've got, because we could end up with it potentially an Arsenal-Chelsea final in the Europa League. But what was the goal score today with Chelsea?
1-1 with
was right.
Eintracht Frankfurt.
So so Frankfurt gets an away goal, and then of course Valencia has an away goal. So that Arsenal has 3 goals, so that's good, but that's rough for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's a little rough, but we get to play them at home on the next one, so hopefully we can take care of that.
But you need 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
If Valencia win 2-0 in Valencia, they would go through, right? Because Valencia has the
away goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chelsea's still Chelsea. We're consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I know we keep floating around, but like, well, they could do it. Chelsea still could have easily an Arsenal and Chelsea final.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally possible.
That would be hysterical. A very different tale of 2 different managers.
Right.
They've gotten to the same spot. They're roughly in the same spot in the Premier League, but people look at one as, you know what? Good job this year.
Right.
And the other one
And it's like, oh,
get
what's
out.
happening? Right.
Yeah. And that's that's hysterical when you think about it. If you got Chelsea into a Europa League final, Chelsea's at 68 points, Arsenal at 66. Chelsea with a 21 goal differential, Arsenal with a 20. I mean, they're identical. Let's say it just stays out that rate.
Right.
It would be, though. You'd have, one still looks like they've done well, and the other looks like a failure.
The real question is on the bet for the over and under for how many cigarettes Sarri would smoke between now and then.
No, the real bet is if it ends up being an Arsenal
6
Chelsea,
cartons.
if it ends up being an Arsenal Chelsea final in Europa League, will Ron go the Moo Thunder bet?
Dun, dun, dun.
Nope. You know what? If you actually had a striker, you might do it. But that's what's even tough. You guys drawing 1-1. I'm like, God, you just don't. It's not a team that can score.
Sadly not.
Like
They
Arsenal
brought in a striker in January.
Yeah, Arsenal a 3-1 victory by Arsenal. Arsenal has no problem putting up goals this year. That's not a problem. But defending them is a different story altogether.
Well, they have no problem putting them up in the Europa League. They're not
Yeah.
doing that so much in the Premier League. It's weird.
Yeah, the best word that describes Chelsea this year is,
Yeah,
That's it.
That's pretty much.
That's
it
it.
sums it up. You're right.
Well, I guess that segues us pretty perfectly over to the race for. Man, why'd you even call it the race for top 6 battle for survival? There's no race. There is a race at the top 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6
That
really
don't want to get in the top
really
six.
would
3, 4,
like
5, and
doing
6 are like,
everything
no,
they
you
can.
take it. No,
they
you
would
take it.
love they're friends with the Wolves. They just would like to see if they could get the Wolves into the top 6.
Right, when they don't have a shot in hell at doing that right now. But everybody else is like, I don't really want to go in third. You go in third. Hey, you know what?
At this rate,
Go in fourth. And everybody's like, no, you. And then they're just standing at the door and nobody's actually walking through the door.
Tottenham's at 3rd with 70 points. Chelsea at 68, 4th. Arsenal 66 and 5th. There's 2 games left. There's still easy math that puts Chelsea and Arsenal in the top 4 and Tottenham out of it.
Yep.
Don't United's still in there too. They are still yeah.
Who?
Believe it or not, Manchester United, despite whatever's been going on in the last month of April.
Well, they can still get into 4th. They couldn't kick out Tottenham's. They can't get more. They can't get more points than Tottenham.
Yeah, they could.
No, there's 2 games left. Or I guess you could.
Right. If Tottenham lose each of their next 2 games and we win each of the next 2 games, and then Arsenal and Chelsea are
Well,
then
Tottenham.
we could.
No.
Sorry.
Meh.
Tottenham's last two games are respectively Bournemouth, then Everton.
Goals and goals.
Bournemouth,
I don't think it's likely. I'm not
game.
expecting us to get in the top four, but it's still possible.
Well, Bournemouth's the easier game, but still losable. I mean, Bournemouth can have some good matches, but Everton is that's not an easy one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this. It's so funny that 2 weeks ago, fans of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th team or 6th team were like, "This is fun. We're gonna have a race for the Champions League." And now everyone's like, I don't know. I guess, even Spurs fans are like, well, we might still stay in it, but like, whatever. Like, we just lost to West Ham. I don't like, blah. It's
but as long as, oh man, it's crazy because as long as Arsenal is having this terrible run of form, right? They just lost 3-0.
Spurs are in this boat because
They
hold on. Ended it 3 weeks, but they had a rough run.
And they're injured.
Yeah.
So it's likely that they're going to drop points in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Chelsea, they can't find their way out of a paper bag at the moment. So they're managing to eke out these draws. So they're probably going to drop points. Arsenal hasn't been able to win one in a bit. They just gave up 3 to Leicester. So who wants it? Man United is not doing that
well. We lose whenever we have a chance to capitalize, and then our result in the weekend was the worst result for either of our two. I'm not expecting a lot from United.
So every result for each of our teams plus Tottenham was better for the other teams.
Yes.
but not really better for the other teams because nobody else capitalized on it.
But telling
that's what
you,
I'm saying.
Right.
That is why
my team gave your team a better chance to capitalize, and then your team couldn't do it.
And they gave it back to you.
Right. His team loses and gives a chance, drops, well, I won't say easy points, but fair enough points. Everybody's just making it easy for everyone else, and no one's capitalizing.
And that's why, we're all mathematically in it, but we're also not just that mathematically in it type of thing where, there's not a shot in hell and things have to play out. No, honestly, everybody is really still in it for the last 2 spots because 70 points and 65 points is from 3rd to 6th. So that's 4 teams there.
And again,
with 6 more points on the line. Currently, right now, there's a 5-point gap. Anything can happen.
And second are 92 and 91.
Oh yeah, nobody. They keep going at it up top there.
Yeah,
but
we're not anywhere in there.
Yeah, right.
That is
down below, it's just who wants these last 2.
That's what I'm telling you.
And then what's is even more insane is say Arsenal. No, say United. Say it goes Arsenal, United, Chelsea in 5th. If Chelsea wins the Europa League, then we're all in the Champions League next year because they've won it and now they automatically qualify.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Right.
But I'll tell you what? Next year, I think it's going to be a dominant race between Man City and Liverpool again. I think the other teams are still going to be rebuilding. Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham even, because they need depth. It's clear. It stinks for the Premier League because it's good that the Premier League is making a good run in the Champions League this year. Because you start to make an argument for why you got so many Premier League teams that can qualify for the Champions League if this is what the rest of your season looks like.
Yeah, I could buy that.
So it's not good. They need to step up.
So here's something that's interesting, and I think we should make some predictions, gentlemen.
But don't. Ron's got my if you curse, I write on the time code pad, so don't nobody curse.
I'm going to give it back.
I
promise. So here's the predictions, right? So Manchester United in their final 2 matches has Huddersfield and Cardiff.
That's
so statistically, he's got a better shot.
We will up both of those. That's my prediction.
He just said don't swear.
That's okay.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Ron back his pad.
I just got a death stare from Blake.
Right? So, like I said, Huddersfield and Cardiff. If they win out, that puts Manchester United at 71 points. Right? Arsenal has Brighton Hove and Albion and Burnley.
Burnley stuff.
So
Burnley, that's going to be a harder one.
yeah. So I think you drop those points and you only pick up half your points. So that puts you 3.
Are they both at home or away?
One's away, one's home.
Okay.
Brighton Hove is home.
I do think the Cardiff match is not necessarily a pushover, though. Just in the sense of if Cardiff is still fighting
Yeah, true. Yeah, no,
on that last day.
what helps us is both of our games are at home, I believe, right?
No, one away, one.
For United?
Yeah.
Your final is at home, I believe.
The final game's home. The
Yeah.
Cardiff game's at home. Okay.
Because remember we were joking about Man United losing out of the top 4
yeah.
to Cardiff, and then Chelsea have Watford a home and Leicester away.
Who was that? Chelsea?
Yeah.
Chelsea have Watford and Leicester.
And Leicester right now under the barrage, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking like they might be competitive next year.
Yeah.
More so. So see again, if he does well with Leicester, they could easily kick one of these teams that are 3 through 6 out of the top 6 for next year.
Maybe.
Easily. So could the Wolves.
So it's pretty crazy. The
It's not over yet.
the race.
It's going to come down to the last week.
It's insane.
We're going to get indigestion eating our pies on that final day, guys.
Jeez Louise.
So here's my prediction. My prediction is Chelsea finish in 6th at 68 points. We drop both of those games. Then Manchester United wins out and goes to 71. And then Arsenal win 1, lose 1. So that ends up putting, that's crazy.
So what would that do for you? That'd be Tottenham 3rd, Man U 4, and
No, it would be Tottenham, Man U 3rd, Tottenham 4th, Arsenal 5th, Chelsea 6th.
You think Tottenham will lose to Bournemouth and Everton?
If they don't pick up points, yes. And
I don't know.
That was a very John Madden way to say that.
I could easily
They put the ball in the back of net. They score a goal.
I can see with their injuries, I can see them drawing easily those games.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win either of them. So I think it's gonna end up Man U 3, Tottenham 4, Chelsea Arsenal, or Arsenal Chelsea.
Right, and then if Arsenal still gets to go to the Champions League, because if they win, or Chelsea if they win the Europa League,
right? That's going to be a crazy last set of games for each of our teams.
or Cardiff, got to fight against Man United potentially to save your season.
And hey, you know
4-0
what?
win for them.
You know what? Depending on which Manchester United shows up,
Exactly.
Well,
It's true. It's at home, which is, well, actually, I can't even say that. Hell, I don't know.
yeah, I think your team is the bigger crapshoot than mine or Arsenal.
right. And you need Brighton Hove to drop. I think if Brighton Hove wins the next one, regardless, Cardiff City's out, right? Yeah. No?
Mm-mm.
No. Yes. Yes. If Brighton Hove pick up 3 points.
Oh, if they win?
Yeah. But they have a tough.
Because then
right?
that's 38. Cardiff would be on 34, and they're not going to pick up those other 4 points.
And right now, I believe Brighton Hove, you just said them. They're playing one of the top. Oh, they play Arsenal next. Oh,
Right.
actually, no. This is why it's crazy. Brighton Hove plays Arsenal. Who knows? And then their final game is against Man City. Ugh.
Cardiff are in there with a chance.
So Cardiff does it still. Oh, my.
In there with a chance.
Jeez. It's still fun if you ignore the top 3 through 6. if you just pay attention to the first 2 in this relegation battle, it's fun. Because that 3 through 6, they can just. I don't know. Nobody wants it.
I wish they were all playing well. And
it was this tight.
And right. And it wasn't so
Who's going to screw up the least?
right. It wasn't such a crapshoot whether or not your team was going to show up. Because Manchester United is right now channeling their inner Chelsea.
Oh, Manchester United? No.
Sure they are.
No. They are something wholly different because they legit can look like they could beat anybody in the world and the next week look like they might not beat Cardiff. Like it is
You're not wrong.
wild swing to me. I don't even think it's Chelsea's been a little meh. Man U to me is not a meh. It's worse in the as a fan, I would think, because you're like, if we can do that, if we can come back through all the craziness and beat PSG, what is happening?
Yeah.
What's happening? Why am I a fan that's also like, well, but if Cardiff's fighting to stay in, it might be a hard game. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah,
crazy.
you should be. That's true. You should be able to look at a team like Cardiff and go, we will politely roll past them.
Right. And now, if Cardiff's fighting for their last game that day, everybody hates Man U except for Man U fans. Because you're going to be like, you got a little guy. He's got to do something. But hey, you know what?
We're still in for the top four. I
Cardiff
don't care
City,
what the little guy does.
Cardiff City, I apologize in advance because Arsenal probably lose to Brighton Hove this weekend. So there you go.
That's the crazy thing. They should not lose to Brighton Hove and Albion.
Why
They shouldn't have lost to Palace.
They'll Cardiff or Brighton Hove will break their heart because Arsenal win like 4-3 or something ridiculous, like score a goal in the end or something. It's ridiculous. We talked a lot about the overall table of the Premier League. Just real quick, some of the games, Liverpool Huddersfield, because Liverpool's got to win. This is huge because they win 5-0, which pulls the goal differential to 4 points. Between
it was within 3
City.
before the Sunday game that City played.
Yeah, but that was actually huge. They needed to get that many goals up there just to, because there's a reality where they could end up with similar points and it all come down to goal differential.
Very true.
But the Huddersfield just saying, we're out still. Thanks, Liverpool. We wanted to make you have a fun game for your fans at home. And then we have Tottenham, West Ham. Beautiful new stadium.
Just go back a second. If Liverpool and Man City both win out, Man City's going to win.
Yes.
Right? So Liverpool needs Man City to drop points and Liverpool has to win out.
Right.
Correct.
Right. But Man City could draw or something. That's where they could have equal points. And
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. Man City has to drop points in order for Liverpool to win.
Liverpool could have 97 points at the end of the season and lose.
Yep.
Correct. That's crazy.
And their only loss in the year would have been one game to Man City.
Yep. Gosh, that's nuts. So we move over to Tottenham, West Ham, brand new stadium. Everybody loves it. Does not make it a fortress because West Ham beats Tottenham 1-0.
Lovely first takedown and goal by Mikel Antonio.
Yeah.
That celebration, though. I'm surprised he hasn't come out and been fined yet for that.
Well, but this is just like, again, this is where one of the top 6 teams just, you know what? I want to make sure that we're freaking out in these last 3 games.
Right.
Because if they had won this game, I think you'd all be going, they're fine.
They're pretty
They'll
much
stay
secure
in
in
the top
4 at least, yeah.
But now it's still the math. And with the form they have played and injuries they're dealing with.
Okay, so what if this occurs?
I love the
just go with me here for
the
a second.
hypothetical hour.
Just go with me. Tottenham bosh up the rest of their year.
Wait, what does that mean?
They screw it up.
Okay. I like Bosch. I like that.
Thank you. That's a great show on Amazon Prime, by the way. If you don't watch, it's fantastic. I've binged watched the last season that just came out. Fantastic.
And how do you spell that?
BOSCH.
Okay, gotcha.
Like the sunglasses, right? Bosch? Or, I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyways, Squirrel. If United get third, right? Arsenal get 4th. Tottenham 5th, Chelsea 6th. If Tottenham win the Champions League and Chelsea win Europa League, do we all get in? Is that possible?
Hold on.
I actually don't know that. But
if the bottom 6, the second or the
last 2, right.
the best of the rest past the first
possible?
2. If they were so bad this year, but somehow
they win each of those,
the lightning odds.
Right. Everybody gets in, and nobody wanted to get in from the top 4. Like how is that? I don't even know if that's possible. Like I'll try to look it up, but
if you're like Real Madrid or something,
I don't see how
you're
because you're not going to kick out.
Let's go back. So Tottenham screw up their season,
and they get in 5th,
and they get in 5th here. But they win
the Champions League.
The Champions League. That is an automatic berth. Correct. So they're in.
Correct.
So Arsenal's now moved into the 4th. They go to Champions League. Chelsea wins Europa.
No. Oh yeah. Yes.
So Chelsea wins Europa.
They're automatically in.
Yes.
So I don't think they kick out the other 2 teams that made it in the top 4. I think they all just get in.
They would have to.
Right. That's So the Premier League would have 6 teams in the UEFA Champions team.
If you're
with the 4 still having to play that playing
but
game,
if you're Barcelona,
everybody usually wins that.
If you're Ajax, if you're Juventus, you're like, oh, good, it'll be easier next year in the Champions League if these yahoos all get it right.
Maybe.
God Almighty.
That's crazy.
That would be insane if it played
now.
It's possible.
That's what I want.
I know, right? This is something really crazy. Everybody's team gets in.
What are the betting odds that kind of thing happens?
I don't know, but I put $10 on that now because that's got.
You know what I mean? Like, if it was 5,000 to 1 for Leicester to win and they hit, you won a bunch of money.
This one's
right.
Yeah, this has got to be higher because, man, I don't know. That's crazy.
The amount of things Tottenham have to lose everything. Chelsea has to win everything. Arsenal has to be perfectly in 4th, and Manchester United perfectly in 3rd. That's so much stuff that has to line up.
All right, hold on.
You trying to find the odds?
I'm trying to find the odds. Yeah.
Well, you never tell me the odds. I'm going to move to the next match while you look that up because these aren't things I think that we're going to talk much about.
Yeah.
This was just rough, a heartbreak for Cardiff City because even a draw would have been good for them, but they lose to Fulham. When they visit Fulham 1-0 with a late goal by Fulham too.
Yeah. And by and large, this was a pretty sleepy game.
Heartbreaker. Yeah. Because even a point would have been huge for them.
And Fulham are already out of it.
Right. It meant nothing for Fulham and it crushed Cardiff City. And then speaking of, Brighton Hove Albion really needs to win. If they had lost all the points, it would obviously have been worse for them. But Brighton Hove Albion at home against Newcastle, they are losing the entire game after the 18th minute, or the 75th, Brighton scores and they draw 1-1. So that's what moves Brighton to 35 points.
Much needed.
They needed that point, but
it gives them it basically gives them a 4-point cushion over Cardiff City.
But what's up with Newcastle? They should have won that game.
Yeah.
That's,
Newcastle back and forth.
A little worried about Newcastle. If there's no Rafa Benitez next year, if he decides to do something else, I hope they bring some people in to shore this up because they don't need to yo-yo. They don't need to yo-yo anymore. Leicester City against Arsenal. Leicester at home under the barrage. We said, man, just a crazy. They're having a good run of form. I do think the Maitland-Niles red card, the second yellow, was pretty weak.
I think. I mean, I talked about this with Phil. I think both were yellows, soft yellows, but both were yellows, and it was a red card. Could he have gotten away with the first one just being a foul and moved on? Yeah, probably. The second one being the same? Yeah, probably. But I think both are really soft.
I think the first one is really a kind of it's a pile of accumulation.
Well, and it was a professional foul type card where somebody's on the break and then they...
Yeah,
but also he's been having to that point, he had been having kind of just a clumsy game.
Yeah, and he gave the ball away here, and from where the ref's vantage point was, it looks like he gave the ball away, was mad he gave the ball away, and then went in for a tackle, missed the ball.
Right.
Didn't really get a whole lot of the player, but from that vantage point, it looks like it's a revenge type foul. And
and that's going to get called every time.
All right. Did you, Blake, see the headline to the Tottenham West Ham game and then the Leicester Arsenal game?
So Spursy and so Spursy. Spursy.
Right, correct.
Yes, for Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you really, really wonder what is said in that Arsenal locker room. Is it, hey, who cares about these games, guys? We have Thursday night against.
There's more fate in their Napoli own hand and Valencia. Don't worry about these games. Honestly, I couldn't care about these. Our main goal is for this. Who knows if that's being said? I mean, I doubt that's being said, but maybe it's said in a different way that all the players know, hey, all of our eggs are in this one basket. I am very excited or curious about next year because this is also still, there's been a little bit of people trashing Emery, but not like a sorry situation.
Oh, no.
Because also people are like, yeah, but you guys got to relax. This is Wenger's team. This isn't Emery's team. Like, he's probably getting more out of them than I would argue Arsene would have this year at this point. So I'm just hoping that the offseason will tell the story.
And even if you finish in 6th, it's still a successful year for you.
Oh, because a new manager one who had been there for 20 years and then a brand new manager. Everybody was like, God, I hope we're in the top 6. Don't even worry about the top 4. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're still doing better than you thought you were going to do.
Your morale is definitely still on the up.
No one had hope that we'd get into the top 4, and then we got hope toward the end. That's what makes it rough.
I can't find betting on 6 Premier League teams making the championship.
But it's possible.
I can have it on
5.
Well, I can have it on just the Premier League or just Champions.
Gotcha.
I can't really have it on. And then who makes a top 4 in the Premier League, but not necessarily top 6.
Gotcha.
I'm almost positive it has to be possible. I don't think any teams get kicked out. I think teams just get added.
All right. Now, the game of the friggin' weekend, though, was Burnley Man City.
Ooh.
And man, for 62 minutes, Burnley looked like they might be able to cost Man City points.
Yeah. And then they just switched off.
But what?
Just switched
off. Tom Heaton with a really good game for Burnley in goal here.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if it's switched off or just the kind of talent they're playing against just wears you down.
Exactly.
But
just
it wasn't
pushing.
But it wasn't that kind of goal, right?
I thought it was a scrappy-esque goal from
Aguero.
Aguero, thank you. I was going to say Sterling, but Aguero. So scrappy in that nature, and it was one that just is a poacher's goal in there.
Yeah, I still think they just switched off for just that one split moment, and you can't do that to a team like Man City.
No, but funny how Burnley went from 20 some points within the first half of the season, like, oh, they could be out, to like, guys, they could hold Man City off because of how they'd been playing more recently.
Yeah, and there was a penalty shout in about the 50th that was a pretty clear handball by the Burnley defender. Yes, the arm was by his side, but he moved towards it. He was clearly trying to stop it. And I think like you're right, they just kind of wore Burnley down. And the goal was, what a game of inches. That it had we not had goal line, who knows if that would have been called as a goal or not. Yeah. And because we have that, there's no debate on whether that ball crossed
over
the
line by 29 millimeters.
That's nothing.
That's stupid close. That's a technical unit of measure. Stupid close.
And the last one we're going to look at, Man United and Chelsea got a chance to make something happen. 1-1 draw. As Ferris wrote, seriously, nobody wants to make the top 4.
Yeah, I think United started a very strong lineup here. The best that they've put out in a while.
Like Chelsea just eked into the 4th spot out of like a, wait, are we? Oh, crap, we're 4th right now.
Yeah. And
that's
how did we get here?
Something.
It's like when you wake up out of a dead sleep and you gotta like go to the kitchen or pee or something like that, and you're wandering around the dark house trying to figure out where the hell you are. That's Chelsea in this season.
And then you're like, oh, I made it.
Oh,
I got here.
I didn't stub my toe on the coffee table.
The entire club of Chelsea did what Sarri just did. They were on the way out the tunnel, stopped, and came back in.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But I think United, especially in the first half, played the better game. A lovely team goal and a Mata goal on his birthday, by the way. So the Ewok got a little bit older in this one.
Yep.
But 1-0, and then right before half, a killer blow. Not so much a killer strike or a killer goal. A goalkeeping mistake by David De Gea, where he just... a shot from the outside, didn't particularly have a lot of spin on it or curve, or it should have caught
he's
it,
done
or at
off
least
the
should
MLS.
have, or at least should have pushed it way far or punched far or something. Kind of just stopped it. It bounced in front, and Alonso, beautiful lock of hairs that he has, was on it and doing his job and got to the ball and just kind of lovely chip over De Gea. And that was kind of a blow because United were playing the better first half. They deserved their goal. And honestly, they deserved to go in 1-0 at half. But
Chelsea,
they
Arsenal,
didn't. And that's just how the game ended.
Chelsea, Arsenal, or Man United in the season, and the whistle blows, and they're in whichever one is in the top 4. I just feel like it is like a collective of whatever group of fans going, oh, okay, well, there's that.
Yeah. You got there. Yeah.
Like this.
You got there.
Huh, would you look at that?
Okay.
I'll be darned.
Hopefully, make some good moves in the summer.
While De Gea in this did his best knee sliding meatloaf rocker poses. I mean, what's a De Gea, man? He is off. Lately.
He has been, and a lot of speculation is because his contract talks with United are kind of taking place. He's still on board for next year. We extended the option, so he's with us through next year. But then after that, usually when a player gets to close to that last year of their contract is when clubs start to talk and try to make a deal to either
Pogba
extend
both
or
going to go to Real Madrid.
Who knows? Maybe. But I think a lot of that. I mean, it's speculating that his mind's on a lot of the outside stuff and not necessarily the game. I think that's possible. Probably a bit harsh because you everybody's human, so you will have those things in the back of your mind kind of always. But for an athlete like he's been and for how he's been with the team, I get it. He's made a few mistakes here, but regardless, I think we need to do whatever we can, keep him signed and locked. And I think then his mind gets off of that. He can stay. He can play. He's going to be the best player on our team for years to come, as he has been the past few years. So just get it over with, sign him, and allow everybody to move on. But that probably won't happen, unfortunately, until the summer. So hopefully a Huddersfield gaffe doesn't happen and he spills one in front of them or anything along those lines.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's had a great year in the beginning, a so-so year in the middle, and man, right now he's just. You can tell he's just not his normal self. 9 times out of 10, he'd have caught that ball and not spilled it, or pushed it well to the side. But it actually looked like he was surprised by that ball, by that shot coming in.
And that's possible too, yeah.
But he wasn't screened. He had a clear view of the Chelsea players.
Rudiger, I think.
Thank you. Yeah. Rudiger taking that shot. Nobody on Man U was closing him down.
Right. And that's another thing is that nobody on Man U closed him down and allowed him to make that shot. But it was a clear shot. And again, the ball wasn't particularly curved well. It wasn't like the Xhaka goal for Arsenal where that ball just swerved
all
in
over
the air and it threw him off guard.
Like knuckleball kind of.
Right. It wasn't like that at all. There was really no dip to it. There was some pace to it, but one that a goalie of his standard should definitely have done much better with.
Yeah, so only time will tell how they're going to end up doing. It's so great.
It's ridiculous. I'm so very excited because it does make our final Premier League day of, was that May 12th? We get our pies, 10 in the morning, have some breakfast, and watch Premier League and then see what that day should be interesting.
And then have a pod after.
Yep.
With an away game of Orlando at Atlanta, I think, for us to watch too.
Yeah.
A fun soccer day. Because it's only 2 matches left. That's it.
Yep.
2 match days left. Yes, indeed.
And Premier League is done. That's crazy. Another season almost in the books.
Crazy.
Can't wait to look back at all our predictions and things like that. Now, before we wrap up, do we want to just real quick talk about the U.S. Women's National Team roster announcement for the World Cup?
Yep. World Cup June 7th in France. It's going to be.
Is it going to be on? Who's covering that?
Fox, I believe.
Fox.
Yep.
Oh, right.
Big Fox.
Fox.
And little Fox
and
here
all
and
the
there.
little foxes.
But the U.S. Soccer drops the 2019 U.S.A. FIFA Women's World Cup roster today, about 15 minutes late. Go figure. U.S. Soccer, never on time.
Nope. Slightly more together than the MLS app.
No, the MLS app is a turd.
That's what I'm saying. They're slightly more together than that.
A complete turd. So let's have a little chat here. So goalkeepers, Adriana French from the Portland Thorns. This will be her first World Cup. Ashlyn Harris from the Orlando Pride. This will be her second World Cup. Alyssa Nair from the Chicago Red Stars. This will also be her second World Cup. Guys, what do we think about the keeper
I think
roster?
that's pretty much, you're not going a whole lot else. I think those 3 are the ones you've seen throughout qualifying and throughout friendly games. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think Nair probably gets a start over either of the 2, and then you could see Ashlyn come in as a sub, maybe play a game in the group stages, but I think it's going to be Nair all the way through.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thought. Blake?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's...
Okay.
That's how that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's not even a prediction. I think that's the game plan.
Yeah. So defenders, we have 7 of them. Abby Dahlkemper from the North Carolina Courage, her first Women's World Cup. Tierna Davidson from the Chicago Red Stars, it's her first World Cup. Crystal Dunn from the North Carolina Courage, it's also her first World Cup. Ali Krieger.
That doesn't seem right, does it?
Back.
What?
Done?
It feels like, wait, hasn't she?
She played in the
Olympics.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Ali Krieger, which
Well
is awesome.
done, Allie.
I love watching her play. This is her third Women's World Cup.
And kind of a surprise, I don't want to say surprise, but this time last year, you weren't thinking she was even going to be back in the in the squad. And then as of this year, in 2019, she got back into Jill Ellis' squad and has earned herself a place in this World Cup.
She's been working hard. She's on the Orlando Pride. Kelly O'Hara from Chocolate Milk fame. This is her third Women's World Cup. She's on the Utah Royals FC. Becky Sauerbrunn, man, a staple in the back line. Her third World Cup. She's also from the Utah Royals. Emily Sonnet, her second World Cup from the Portland Thorns.
First.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. All the T's with the asterisk. What do we think of the defenders lineup?
I think the big news was Ali Krieger. I mean, that was the surprise.
And I think Allie took a spot from Casey Short, who was getting a lot of time in there as well. And that's the surprise for that. But I'm glad Allie's in it. She's earned her spot. And all in all, I think it's a very strong back line for the good ladies.
A lot of depth.
Yeah, great depth. So who do we think? Let's say we're starting a back four. Who do we think are the starters for the back four?
Okay, if we do a back four,
right. If.
I think you see Dahlkemper, Sauerbrunn, Dunn, O'Hara.
Blake?
Sauerbrunn and Dunn. I mean, you might see Davison in there.
I think if we play a back three, you could see Davis and Dahlkemper and Sauerbrunn.
Yeah.
Well, I picked four.
But what was done playing a little bit higher up, playing like that wing back.
I'm just trying to get the most starters. That's all.
Sure, just play them all 7 of them.
Yep. Right. We're going to go the back 7, a front 5, and
That's perfect.
Yeah, right.
All right. So that makes let's go to the midfield. We have 6. Morgan Bryan from the Chicago Red Stars.
Interesting.
This is her second Women's World Cup. Julie Ertz, her second Women's World Cup from the Chicago Red Stars. Lindsay Horan from the Portland Thorns, her first.
Wow, I can't believe it's her first.
Yeah.
And she's going to be such a big key component to this team.
Rose Lavelle, our Noir star.
Noir, Private Eye.
Yeah. Her first Women's World Cup from the Washington Spirit. Ali Long from
I didn't know that either. I thought she already been in one too.
Seattle Reign. It's her first Women's World Cup. And then Sam Mewett.
I thought she was already in one too.
Right. That's a stacked midfield.
Yeah.
It is. I will say the only question for me, and I think Ron and I were talking about this, is Morgan Bryan getting in. A little bit of a surprise. Yes, she's been there before, and I get it, and that's probably why she's in the team now.
I think that's a little depth, experience depth on that.
And she has a little bit of attacking. However, okay, if you're going to switch somebody out, you got to come with a name that you would switch somebody out. I would have liked to see McCall Zabroni come in, who is a very good defensive midfielder, who I feel can play both midfield and an auxiliary center back if need be. I get it. We kind of already have some defensive midfielder positions, but I think if Zambroni was in there, she could have allowed Horan to be pushed up a little bit more. I think Horan will still be because of Ertz and U.S., but that one would have been my only change out for if I'm looking at this entire team.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. I think it's going to be interesting, the role Mo Bryan plays. I do think it's for her experience to help. I think she's going to be a big help in those times where the U.S. is down 1-0 in the 75th, right? Bring her on. She's got morale. She's got some pace. She's got some energy. The only question I have is how healthy can she stay?
Right.
I think that's your big question mark about her.
Right.
That moves us on to the attacking side,
which has the most experience.
Yeah, which is awesome.
A lot of talent here.
Tobin Heath from the Portland Thorns FC. She's been brilliant for all. This is her third Women's World Cup. Carly Lloyd from Sky Blue FC. This is her fourth Women's World
insane.
Cup. Jessica McDonald from the North Carolina Courage. This is her first Women's World Cup. Alex Morgan from the Orlando Pride, her third Women's World Cup. Kristen Press, the poacher.
Yes.
From the Utah Royals FC. This is her second Women's World Cup. Mallory Pugh, who is just awesome. From the Washington Spirit, her first Women's World Cup. And then the one, the only, Megan Rapinoe from the Seattle Reign, third Women's World Cup.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any argument there with any of those forwards. And you can't really tell me a strong contender that you can swap out for any of those folks.
Who's your starting? Like, who's your?
I think he starts.
Press?
Morgan starts. Press starts, and probably Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah, she creates so many chances.
Yeah, her crossing ability is just brilliant. Whether it's an early cross, the late cross across the box.
Yeah,
she's just perfect.
And what you could see out of this is you could see a back three consisting of Dahlkemper, Davison, and Sauerbrunn, right? And then your midfield five, if you will could be Heath, Dunn, Ertz, Mewis, Horan, and Rapinoe. I always want to say Rapone. It's not it.
No, you always want to say Rampone.
I do want to say Rampone. Yeah. Yes, Megan Rapinoe. That's kind of your midfield five there, within Press and Morgan up front, with maybe Press playing a little bit behind Morgan or vice versa. But I think if you see a back five, that might be what you see. It could be. I mean, the good thing is, as you look at this team, there's a whole. You can pretty much play any formation you want, because you're going to have pieces to fit in pretty much every position.
But they're going to need it. It's going to be a hard World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, this year is probably one of the most competitive set of teams that we've seen in quite some time.
France, they have that home advantage. They're good.
France, Japan still.
England.
Yeah, a great contender. England really rising. It's going to be a tricky.
Well, speaking of England rising, the Arsenal ladies team won the national championship.
I saw that, yeah.
For the women's side of the club.
And United's women's team, first year, have gotten promoted. So
nice.
They won their league as well.
I don't know if there's any way to get coverage of that.
I just follow it through Instagram.
Yeah, same here.
And
Twitter and Instagram is pretty much how I follow it.
Well, gents, I think that covers us up.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, as always, please give us a follow on all them social medias we use, whether it's Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook. Find us on Untapped so we can follow you too if I see what beers and stuff that you're drinking, especially as Ron gets ready prepared to head to China for a longer stay, and we're going to get all sorts of crazy international beer badges.
Oh boy, are you?
On our Brewtiful Game Untapped page. The website's thebrutifulgame.com. Please, if you would, leave us a rating or a review, however you listen to us, with Spreaker, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts. Just leave a rating or review, get a picture, and we will get we'll get you a koozie, something out in the mail. Clark, we're getting yours, should be out in the mail. Again, our buddy from Colorado did not get.
Damn it.
It's koozie. So we'll get you taken care of. I don't know what's happening there. We'll get you.
I'll fly over and just.
Somebody on the front porch keeps taking koozies from the
Scallywags.
But yeah, we'll get you a koozie and our magnet out in the mail to you. If you leave a rating or review.
Son of a
You old sailor, you.
You say softballing?
Sorry, sandbagging. That's what it is.
Sandbagging, son of a bitch. Where is she? She's still in the house?
Softballing. That just made me laugh.
Give you the old slow pitch, baby.
That's not a euphemism.
Hey-o.
And then I think that wraps us up. Ron's out next week on a cruise. I don't know what you're doing, Ferris.
Oh, we could pod next week, or we end the season. Yeah, we do it on Sunday.
Gosh, so crazy. It's about to wrap.
It kind of depends. Yeah.
So we'll see how things. Ron needs a vacation. Apparently, like a cruise.
I have one finger that I'm raising for you guys, And it's this one.
Hey, thanks. I am number one.
Well, but you should have saved it because we still have one last thing to do, and that's the dad joke book.
Oh, yeah, but of course.
All right. Say when to
That
stop.
old thing.
Stop.
Okay. What? I love when I read something and go, I don't even get it. It's so bad. I can't.
Oh, God.
I'm going to. Okay, I don't get this one. You got to explain it to me. Why did the dad bank manager leave a root vegetable in the vault when he heard someone was plotting to rob his bank? It was a turnip for the crooks.
Moving on.
I don't get. Does anyone get it? I don't get it.
No, I don't.
A root vegetable in the vault?
I mean,
Next.
I see what they're trying to go for, but like,
Yeah, I don't, something's missing.
Next.
Okay. Oh my gosh. It's
never
a
a good
shame
sign.
this isn't the last one for the last Premier League pod. But anyway, I'm going to use it. There's
Wait,
no way.
we are going to need one for that.
No, there's no way there were ever another one in here that this fits us this well.
Okay.
What did the dad bartender say when a customer asked for a refund on his beer? Hold your glasses, gents, and I'm going to give you the answer. What? We can do our final cheers on this. What did the dad bartender say when a customer asked for a refund on his beer? This is the pint of no return. Love the beer, cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game.
God, that was terrible.
Yeah.